Go on.
Hello, everybody. Once again.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Well, last we left off, our travel-weary adventuring party had made their way through a perilous gorge where lots of different. Stop it!
Sorry,
you
I'll shut up.
Stop it. They'd made their way through a perilous gorge. Stop! They made their way through a gorge.
Gorgeous gorge.
You're a gorgeous gorge.
After some in-party fighting when they had come across a clearing with several different huts that they'd explored to find some magic items, the party have since moved on using their last little bit of daylight to try and make a little bit more progress in terms of how far they can get throughout the day towards Goza, which is their current destination. Where we pick up, Ira has been leading June and the rest of the party through the forest with Kruger and Abelard still in their clearing, is that correct?
It depends. Are you guys actually ditching us?
Yes, we left. You guys were
I
buried. we
mean, I
left.
feel like there's only really one way to keep going. So
Can you guys just wait?
Nope.
I think we aesthetically left, but we're still like.
within reasonable
Yeah.
visual.
My
distance.
eye shot. Because I got 120 feet of dark vision. So
We're,
I
we're,
can't see.
you can see us. We're not.
I'm gonna
Horse.
deal with horse for a second.
Do not.
Okay, calm the horse.
Why is horse crazy?
Horse wanna be inside. Horse won't play.
Because if the party decides to actually like get out of eye shot and just literally like leave us, I'll be like, I don't know. I'll try to encourage Adelaide to hurry up or just pull him away.
Sure. I think it's safe to say that Abelard would only go when he's finished
Yeah.
burying. Yeah. So I'd say the party would probably get a little bit of a head start.
Unless
Oh.
unless they actively stop.
The rest of you guys. Man, I love it when they split the party.
Surprise attack! Hit me. Or Abelard, come on.
Well, we gotta wait for Abelard to get back.
Please tell me the body does something. That'd be so.
No. So you spend a little bit of time piling on snow and soil and filling in, putting to rest this skeleton.
What do you need Avalon for quickly?
And Abelard
it's-
picks up on a sound on the breeze.
Yep.
At first, you think it might be some sort of bird at the top of this canopy, but in this clearing, everything above you is suspiciously. I mean, it's clear. There's no canopy really above you, and you can hear.
Oh, fuck.
Abelard, not gonna lie, is this gonna take much longer?
Avalon's like ears perk up, like, or not, like, metaphor. Just Avalon hears this?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do a perception check to see where it's coming from?
They're getting kind of far
Can I
away,
give myself a
man.
guidance?
Yes.
You rolled bad, didn't you?
I mean, it's a nat 1, but
Fun.
it goes to an 11 with my bonuses.
With a nat 1, you're so distracted by having just kind of filled in 3/4 of this grave. Your party has left you, and there doesn't seem to be a source point for this
It's just whistling.
whistling. Yeah, it sounds ominous and a bit mournful.
Avalon, like, turns to Kruger, I'm like, that story about the Wanderer, he whistles, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
Doesn't the Wanderer do the weird like Geiger counter sound?
That's what. Yeah. I think that was the interpretation. Yeah. Isn't that something like? Yeah. Why?
Yeah, I like pointing my ears and I'm just like, whistling.
Listen out for a whistle.
Yeah, roll a perception check for me.
Guys, this is not funny. You walk away don't do that. Please come out now.
How far away is the rest of the party?
They still
I mean,
are they within eye shot?
I'm gonna say no, probably not.
Do we stop and like?
You could
You've
always
said that
just
you've
run
said that you
towards
kept
us.
on walking then.
Yeah, we
so
did.
None of you hear this.
Well, do we?
None of us hear the whistling.
No.
No.
Well, I looks at Krieger. I'm like, do we stay and try and meet with him, or do we just go?
I think we've overstayed our welcome.
I was like,
I know this is. I don't know. This is what you really want to do, but I think there's a time and place for everything.
I look at like
This is not a
the,
time
I
and
look at
place.
like the berry, like the berry, like the graves buried nothing. I was just like, I agree, and then just. Avalon pulls out a crossbow and kind of goes in like almost like tactical withdrawal mode. We're like pulling backwards, following like the party's line.
Sure.
Almost like a
Yeah.
rear guard action.
Our footprints are still in the ground, I'm assuming. In the snow. Visibly.
Yeah.
Seeing
Yeah.
like the poorly hidden footprint, Avalon does a bunch of stealthing.
Mhm. So you're just
Back like Avalon's doing really good action, like watching the flying.
I'll be mimicking Avalon.
so you're both
following his lead.
facing towards the clearing and just walking backwards, or what?
No, back to back, I guess.
Kind of like like looking behind us regularly.
Yeah, like.
Like cautiously,
Okay.
like a rear guard, kind of like we're heading towards a party.
Sure,
and we're
you
heading.
can both roll perception for me.
Nothing is that best.
13.
Plus guidance dice. Naval guidance dice.
Yep.
19.
You don't see anything.
Does the whistling keep going?
You can still hear the whistling, yeah. It's kind of intermittent. It appears to It appears to be at a similar... It appears to be at a similar time every single time you hear it. So the break is always like maybe 10 seconds in between, and it's always the exact same sound of the whistling. The exact same pattern, the exact same notes.
If this is something threatening, Avalon, I don't have much of my abilities left.
I was like, neither,
guess-
but they don't know what is coming to them. We need to hold the line if something
That's
happens.
true. I like that.
And I'm just, Avalon keeps like backing with like back the way the party went, like hoping to catch up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Do you guys move forward?
You can dash.
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
running,
quick.
we're walking.
We know that, but we're also making sure there's not something that's chasing after us.
Yeah, we don't want to
Yeah,
be like.
so I'll say that the rest of the party is probably, like, if you keep going as is, you're not going to meet up. They're still going to be ahead of you for a little while.
Oh no.
Maybe just like suss it out for like a little bit longer, and then be like, okay, maybe we like pick up the pace. Because what if this thing decides to leave us and go for them?
Don't watch me do it. Like,
I heard it. I know what it's like now. What have I been doing? But
you've
yeah.
heard me rolling all game.
Could be rolling full.
It could be me. It could be something that I do when I'm rolling. I just roll for the sake of rolling.
Exactly. Could be this thing just to scare
Exactly.
us.
That's what
Just
exactly.
to
It's
scare us.
It's
just
scare.
to scare us.
Yeah. Nothing's happening.
It's mind games.
It's mind games.
Mind freak.
I was like, alright, I agree. We pick up the pace a bit more. We hope to catch up.
All right, let's go.
Sure, you're running?
We'll start running, but
Yeah.
it might like not a full 60 foot, like a 45 foot.
Yeah, like I
Still using like
yeah,
15 foot of that movement to
Sure.
check behind us regularly.
Yeah.
As you begin to run, you can hear, carried on the breeze, what appears to be a familiar voice to you both. You can run, little rabbits, but you can't hide. And then you hear the same whistling, but it seems to get further away from you.
I'm not coming mad. You heard that, right?
Oh, I heard that. Why is he following us?
After that, you don't hear any more whistling. But eventually, you catch up with the rest of the party.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck off.
What was that all about?
You know how like the Wanderer whistles and all that?
Mm-hmm.
You You can run,
Oh.
but you can't hide your little rabbits. That's what he said. He's following us.
Specifically that was.
Is the Wanderer something that's well known?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can roll a history check for me, if you like.
So what you're saying is we should run?
Lol.
I'm saying we still need to rest as well.
Be
But
on guard.
there's not much we can do.
It's pretty well known. You've definitely heard the name The Wanderer before. It's often a story that is told to scare kids. So often they'll do it during the thinning of the veil as like a warning to kids, but you don't remember too much of the story.
This can't be. I thought. Didn't Andrea say that this is not the real one? But or maybe they're just whistling to scare us.
That's why I'm asking you whether or not do we face them and just talk directly. Like,
I mean, if we stand as a united front, then I reckon we could have a shot.
if it's the Wanderer of Myth, probably not. But is it? We could. If it is the Wanderer of Myth, we cannot sleep for the rest of the journey, which is.
We can't go on all night.
Yeah.
Well, if we need to stop, we need to stop.
We need to rest. It's getting dark, and we can't.
We haven't rested since we've been in the gorge, have we?
No.
No, we should rest.
How far away are we from the cabins we just left?
An hour.
Distance.
Mm-hmm.
Can I look for a shady spot, like covered?
True.
I'm pretty
Sure.
sure he said
You're
you
looking
can
for some
run rabbits,
shelter?
but you can't
Yeah.
hide. So
Roll a survival check for me. It could be anything. You could just really like rabbits.
It could just be a random fucking hunter.
Huntress.
Yo.
We'll call back to the gaming streams. Catch them on Saturdays.
11.
Sundays.
Sundays, not
Sundays.
Saturdays.
APM
What did you get?
11.
11. It's pretty hard to make out specific copes of trees that you can use as shelter. It seems like a pretty dense canopy, so there's a lot of shelter here. You're having a bit of trouble making out anything in particular beyond like a couple of fallen logs and things that are kind of pressed up against the side of what appears to be a mountain.
Yeah, well that's kind of like those the shelters that you see in the forests that are built of 4 sticks and leaves.
Oh yeah.
I'm also looking
Yeah.
for that.
There's no really convenient shelters that are built here, funnily enough. There are some hollows in trees and stuff, but they're far too small for anyone really to fit in.
Did you say there was a mountain?
Even you. Sorry, Dilbert. Yeah, there's a mountain towards the side.
Steep enough to be would it be climbable? Walkable? Could you walk up it?
No.
Okay.
This part looks pretty steep.
Okay.
It's not exactly vertical, but it is it's stone. So there's a ledge that's a little bit above, but there's no you'd have to actively climb.
Yeah,
up.
cool. I suggest we make a little camp in just next to the mountain.
Are there any caves in the mountain face that we can see?
You can roll a perception check for me.
I rolled an 11, so I wasn't going to say any of that.
Guidance. You have failed me as well. That's a 14.
That's not bad.
I have a +7. I rolled a 3, Connor.
Not as far as you can see. There doesn't appear to be any convenient caves or caverns or anything so far. You look above you, and you can see dangling from a relatively large branch what appears to be a bit of rope and something circular that just kind of is swinging.
Point that out.
Yeah.
Okay. How far away is this?
So bad. How far away is it? It's probably about 10 feet up.
Oh, okay.
Does it look like a trap or something, or just?
You rolled a 14.
Yeah.
You don't think it's a trap? No.
It's a tire swing.
So charming in the middle of ominous
It looks.
forest.
It looks almost like a ball shape.
Yeah, we're gonna die.
Spherical.
What the fuck is it?
What the fuck?
Okay, well, I'm gonna build a campfire.
We're just giving up and just camping on trail anyway. Fuck it.
So it's a rope dangling from a branch, and then it's like something spherical at the end of the rope. That's
Yeah.
like just.
So the rope is kind of. So this is the branch.
Mhm.
There are two sides, almost like a, what are they called? Bolos? Where they have like two ends or something? And there's like a rope in between.
So it looks like a bowler.
Like,
what's a bowler?
Like the
kind of, except the other side of the rope doesn't appear to have anything in it. It just looks to be like a loop.
Can I roll a survival check? Because I think I know what it is, but I'm not sure.
Sure. You can roll a survival check. What are
that-
you rolling to determine though? What it is?
Yeah. Because
And
I think
what specifically is survival about that?
I think to me it sounds like one of them bear things where you tie your food up.
So
in
you're
your
looking to see if
materials.
it's a trap.
No, one of them bear things where you tie your food up in your
Oh.
materials and you hoist it up high
That's smart.
to
But
keep
you
it out of
do
the
it
way
for
of
wombats.
the big prey.
Sure. What did you get on your survival?
16.
It does not seem like one of those. So
Cool.
there's no pulley system in place necessarily.
And it doesn't look like a bag with stuff in it.
No, the rope looks relatively even. The loops are of a different size on each end. So what was in the other side appears to not be in there anymore.
Does it look like on the other rope? Does it look like something used to be attached to it?
Through the loop, maybe, but it doesn't look like food or anything.
But could this be just a giant bowler? So say like giant centipede monsters or something. Hypothetically speaking, of course.
I mean, they got a lot of legs. You just.
Or like giant undead dragon beasts.
Mm.
Yeah, also hypothetically speaking.
Here, kitty, kitty.
It's like woolen ball, but for undead monstrosity.
No, I don't think you could make that leap necessarily.
Do you want me to go look at it?
So it's 10 foot above us.
I could jump. I could jump that high and look at it.
I mean, I'm like,
Do you want to get that closer?
I guess. I mean, do we want to stay here and look at the bulbs hanging from tree, or should we, keep skedaddling? It's your turn to do it. Normally, it's me giggling in the corner.
What if we just cut the thing down and then push it away?
I don't know what it is, so I don't really want to drop it from a height.
What urged you to do that? What idea was
I don't. What do you mean?
What
Like,
idea?
I mean, we could just leave it alone.
I keep
It's literally not doing anything. Why
It
would
could be
we
just
touch
like a
it?
giant bird feeder or something. We just leave it.
We can't get a clear image, like a clear visage of what this thing is.
You can roll a perception check. You've always been like, yes, it's a trap.
I re-roll once because I'm a halfling. That's much better. 13.
It's better than a 1.
It's
better than a one.
pretty high up. It's getting pretty dark now. There's not much light that's shed on it, but you think you can make out that it's not a perfect sphere.
Can someone get a light on it at least?
I guess I cast light on a rock and throw it up in the air.
Just cast light
You're
on
throw-
the-
are you
on the-
throwing
No,
it
I have to touch the item to put light on it. I just cast it on a rock and then just try to throw it so it lands on a branch or something.
Sure. Roll a dexterity check for me.
Why
please.
not like cast light on the rope and then like throw the rope around a branch?
Because that would have been too smart.
Too late now.
Too late now.
I have
That's that was my first thought.
Not 20 there!
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why are you sure
You
now?
look around for you look around for a rock. Pretty hard to come by under layers of snow, but you find one, and you kind of judge the weight of it slightly, toss it up and down, and then you. It lands and kind of skitters across the top of the branch. You can see what appears to be the flash of metal
On the branch? Or from the thing?
from the.
Does it help illuminate what the thing is?
How much light does it give up?
Light.
20-foot bright light, 20-foot dim light from
Yeah.
Sure, okay. So, yeah, you can see. It's 10 feet up, so you can see. It appears to be a body part. Metallic. It looks a little bit like a head.
Excusez-moi.
Oh. Dead Arkanoid?
A9 is no French.
I'm like,
That's another personality.
I like look at and I be like, so robot buddy, what is that? An Arkanoid head?
I'll look up. Is it not? Can I tell?
Yeah, yeah, with 20 feet of light, you can see that this is what appears to be the head of an Arkanoid that's been severed off the rest of its body. There are cords and bits of pipe that appear to have once held some sort of liquid within it, or carried some sort of enchantment. There's a really complex kind of script on these cords. You can't quite make it out from where you are, but the light does kind of catch some runes or some sort of impression.
I wonder if Turbot Umblebridge made that Arkanoid too.
What's who?
Oh right.
Mom.
Oh right. You don't know. Oh, yeah, Turbot Umblebridge. We would.
I'm very familiar.
Oh, you are. We found some spare parts with A9, and they didn't seem to like that name. They actually said I don't
I
like
can
that
understand why. The guy's a bit of a maniac.
Damn, what'd he do?
name. Is this
Wait,
the?
so you're
the hymn you were talking about before?
you're not working for him.
Turbot, no. It's again. This is for you. We're like in the year 1237. I'm sure, and Turbot was in the procession of metal. He probably long dead.
Where are we going? Why is there a head here?
The head I don't know about. We're currently, and I pull out the map. We're about here. We're on our when
Point to Nadria.
we're about here. We're trying to at least get to Gosa for the most part, and then we're on our way to Gilcrest because there is a abandoned temple that we need to go to for our friend Nadria here.
You're saying we're on Wyladium.
Yes.
Where did you think we were?
Sorry, that's the name of the continent, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yar.
Cathora is the name of the world.
Yes.
Yar. Where did you think we were?
What is the name of the Cardinal Triad? Is that the...
Specifically, you would have thought Casmortus.
I mean...
What's a Casmortus?
I am also interested. What is a Casmotis?
is it an island?
It's a continent.
Can I roll a history check on anything about Cosmodus?
Sure.
Can I
for
perform
it.
a help action on that?
Sure.
Is a help action like a spell?
No, it's a action you
it's
can
a
take.
combined brain power action.
Like,
So can
right.
It
I-
just means
It's-
that you can
you
say
can't do double advantage.
if somebody's going to make a roll, you have to announce before they make the roll, but you can say you can roll Connor.
If the DM can also be like, how are you helping? If it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
how you would help it.
Yeah.
So I can just be like, guy perform the help action and
Yeah, you
it
just have to
doesn't
explain
do
what
it.
you
Oh, that's not a
Yeah.
spec.
No. Anybody can do the help
That's
action.
so cool.
Yeah,
What?
you literally.
I was like,
Okay,
how do you
I
say
learned
this
something
really
today.
helps?
Usually I encourage the help action because it means that we're not doing like
8 rolls.
8 rolls, and it also means that you guys have a better chance at getting information about something, especially if there's multiple people who might have information about a certain thing or who might be able to help out. I think the help action, though, sometimes, like Lockie said, I really like you guys to kind of explain what you're doing to help. Obviously, in this case, it's not really relevant, but if it was something like
climbing a wall, or
digging a
something.
hole.
yeah,
But
something
yeah.
like that.
But also,
I need some more clarification on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
you may be confused as well because there's also a cantrip guidance, which also helps ability
Yeah.
checks, which
But it's
both
not-
myself and Nadra use regularly because it just adds a d4 to your roll, which is helpful.
and it's free.
But
basically.
the help action is an
It's just
additional
an action.
roll. It lets you roll with advantage. So
Roll with advantage.
I,
We love it.
let's
We
go
love
roll
it.
with advantage.
I rolled 2 14s for a total of 17.
Yeah, so anybody can do the help action at any time. You can actually, even in combat, say that I'd like to use the help action for the next person's turn. And then you don't get an action. It's technically an action to do it, so you don't get an action during your turn. Your action would be to help somebody when their turn comes up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
What'd you get?
17.
A 17. Casmortis is a part of a group of 3 continents known as the Cardinal Triad. The Cardinal Triad was founded a long, long time ago after the Hexen War. And kind of around a similar time as the Kaindar Accords. The continents themselves are pretty notorious for being quite technologically advanced, and a lot of the creation of Arkanoids, for example, during the Procession of Metal, actually occurred during this period of time. The 3 continents are Casmortis, Ruinidas, and Dracordus. Casmortis is Casmordas.
And that's an and that's an. Is that the continent or is that is that an
That's
island?
the
a part
largest
of-
continent
The largest continent.
out of the group of 3.
Okay, large continent out of the Cardinal Triad.
There's also Ruinidas, which is Ruineddas.
Cool.
And then you have Dracordus as well, which is Dracorddas.
DAS?
Yep, DAS. All of them are DAS. They all used to be part of the one continent before they split off. There's a lot of different thoughts behind how they were split, which gods were involved, that sort of thing. For the most part, Casmortis is pretty well known for being a powerhouse in Cathora for technology. There are some issues that they've been having with their technologies. Some of them seem to have malfunctioned quite a bit during the time of the Procession of Metal. And those particular Arkanoids, or those particular creatures or technological beasts, if you will, some of them are much more anthropomorphic than others. They are kind of, they populate an area that's pretty famous even for you guys here, known as the Sea of Metal or Shrapnel.
Do you relay this information to the rest of the party?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, we're on a different continent.
I'm gonna take another look at this head. Does it look like technology before or after my time? And can I read any of the runes or make out a model number?
It's pretty high up, so I'd say you probably can't read the runes, unfortunately.
Can I?
All I'd ask, Anna, is it alright if we take down the head from the tree? Or would you like us to leave it there?
I mean,
Go get
where I'm from, we don't really let parts go to waste.
Go Power Rangers.
We don't bury. We just recycle.
Reuse.
I can get it for you if you want.
That could be good. Thank you.
Triple jump. Boing. Cut the rope.
I'll try to catch it. How big is it?
Head size?
Oh, okay,
Question
cool.
mark? I don't know.
Exactly 4 liters.
4 liters of
4
space.
liters?
Roughly.
It's
I
a
feel
liquid.
like
Their head's
that's
actually a
probably-
liquid.
Good soup.
What?
Good soup. Sure, you and cut the rope. It kind of, interestingly enough, as you bounce up to try and cut the rope, you catch the sight of the Arkanoid's face.
Mm.
And you can see that there are smears of some sort of rust-coloured liquid almost that are kind of sprayed up from the neck and across the jawline. The jaw is kind of unhinged slightly. There are some bolts missing and it kind of hangs open. And the eyes itself, or where the eyes are, one of the panels appears to be missing, and the other one appears to be cracked. You cut it, and it kind of tumbles down to land into whoever's catching it, or you're just you're catching it.
No,
Sure.
A9, I think.
What's your dexterity is pretty high, right?
No.
Is-
No, I've got a -1 to dex.
He's not
Okay,
dexterous.
roll a dex check for me, please.
I'm not very dexterous. Yay! That's a dirty one.
Completely drop
A
it.
dirty one?
I guess a clean one? I mean, it wasn't a natural one.
So a 2 minus.
Dirty one.
Sure.
Dirty
I'll
one.
say that you holding your hands out, it's lifting them up, waiting, and immediately off the top of your head, there's this loud
No,
crash,
he's gonna have a dent in his head.
No, that
No,
might.
he's
that
gonna go
might.
back to A9 mode.
and you feel it kind of rattle your head slightly on your shoulders. You go, ding, ding,
Have we
ding, 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 ding,
discovered
ding.
if it's head trauma that causes the reversion
No.
effect?
I think
Get a
that we should
baseball
test
bat.
that theory.
We just have like a bag of cricket balls. You just be throwing them.
Why cricket balls?
They're fucking hard.
Yeah, have you ever felt a softball?
Softball. Don't fuck with a softball.
Wild.
Not
That's
talk
it.
about it.
That
That is a
softballs-
misleading name.
Yeah.
Softballs are dark-sided. Like, I used to play softball. as a
Dark
kid.
sided.
They are fucking foul. Anyway,
That's bad.
I mean, real cricket balls are so fucking bad.
Yeah, oh, they're both equally bad.
Don't get hit by them.
I know, yeah.
it rings off A9's head and kind of tumbles to settle into the snow, where you can see it's only a little bit away from a similar patch of drips of that same rust-colored liquid.
Do
Are
I?
you okay?
Are you actually? Yeah. Am I okay? Does it like deal any?
No,
No,
it's
so
just
it's
for
not.
funsies.
It
But
doesn't.
I'm gonna think, are you okay? That looked like it hurt.
I've gone all stiff. I used to be a little bit better at catching things than this.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
That would have been helpful days ago.
That's
That's all right.
Catch this!
I'm gonna attempt to pick it up.
You're just scrabbling against it. You pick it up. It's fine.
Do I know what the liquid is? And can I the questions I asked before? About
Sure, roll an investigation check for me.
Nadra, can Nadra give guidance?
It's not gonna be neat. So you say investigation?
Yeah.
We try a 25 on for size.
25.
That's very good.
You pick up the head and staring into it, you feel an immense sadness kind of begin to radiate through you as you look at an Arkanoid that doesn't look necessarily all that dissimilar from you. It's a little bit more banged up, in certain places are a couple more dents into it. There are some scratches that cleave the metal into. One of the panels where the eyes usually are as an enchantment appears to be completely missing, torn out, and you can see that there's some almost like circuitry in there with a particular enchantment that you can discern now is in Gnomish, and it essentially has a really complicated effect of giving sight to an artifact. The liquid itself, you can see, it functions kind of like an internal coolant to stop the enchantments from clashing too much with each other and causing a reaction. Essentially, it kind of regulates it a little bit. And it kind of runs throughout most Arkanoids, particularly the newer end of your models. A lot of the problems with the original prototypes are that they were very volatile and reactive, and so this was meant to kind of be a mediating fluid, almost. It's kind of it feels kind of like you're staring at the face of a fallen friend. You've seen a lot of these similar sights in your years and your escape. You can see that this head was forcibly torn off the shoulders. It appears to have been there for a while. There are little bits of almost rust that are collecting on different parts of the skull, or the shell, or where the head used to be. There is a kind of similar enchantment that you've seen many times before that seems to have been done in a very familiar script to you. Gnomish again, and it appears to be the handiwork of one Turbot Umberbridge. You don't see any serial numbers.
The ruins are.
Yeah. There don't seem to be any serial numbers, but you can see that at the base of the neck, where the neck meets the curve of the head, there is a very fine script of TUA.
My sibling, what have they done to you?
Your sibling?
Did anyone mention before to me about the little bag of parts and things?
Before?
Like in the past?
No,
It
would be in the bag of holding, wouldn't it?
Oh,
I don't know.
no. Oh, no, I did. I said, we found a bag of parts, and that's where,
Yeah,
I
I
mentioned...
thought you
Because
mentioned.
that's where we got the TU from.
Yes, I did mention that there was
And
a
that
bag of
caused
parts.
the A9 split.
Yeah, I mentioned that there was a bag of parts and there's a shot tube in his bag of holding.
Where are those parts you were talking of?
In your bag.
I'm gonna pull them out.
Are you okay?
I mean, what is he doing here though?
What? Do you know this one?
I mean, yeah, but he shouldn't be here. Not on this continent.
Well,
So you think...
should you be here either?
I mean, yeah, it's a good point. None of this makes any sense.
What were you doing on Casmortis? Were you...
I feel like the better question is, what's he not doing on Kesmodus?
What were you doing on Casmortis, I think, is the question.
That was non-character.
Plebeian.
Oh,
You do not
peasant!
know.
LOL.
As
I
if
mean-
you don't know all of my backstory.
So you promise you're not.
Nope.
If anything, we're currently sort of unemployed.
We're self-employed.
Look, if anything, we're as against him as you are because we don't know who he is, and if you don't like him, then we probably won't either.
Well, fucking Sid Gilbert.
I mean, the guy runs a bit of a company that's infamous for.
The TU Arms company?
That's the one.
Yeah.
You've done your research.
I barely. My family talks a lot and I pay attention to cool shit. And Arcanoids are cool. They're better than geography. History. Lame ass subjects.
He runs a little company that it started off as a small thing that they just built weapons, right? But then things changed. He realized that us Arcanoids were more than just civil servants, and he tried to turn us into weapons.
Oh, that's not nice.
Like
that's
mindless weapons or minded weapons?
They had varying levels of success.
Are you one of the successful ones?
I was lucky enough to get out of there.
Fair enough.
Is that why you? Oh, is that why you can shoot lightning? Because you're a walking weapon.
Is that an offensive term?
I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be offensive.
I mean, no, I mean, I guess, did I make this armor?
Well, no. No. Isn't it just leather? I think it's just armor we found and, we put on.
Look at my mole. That's so rude. I think A9 did make modify the armor to make it all like.
Oh no, you did. Yeah, you did. I mean, you modified it. Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, this looks like me, but
Yeah, it is you.
I guess you're. Well, the one other consistent thing, you and A9, the one we know, are very crafty and know how to make and tinker.
But I just don't understand what he's doing here. His company doesn't. His company, I don't think, ever operated on this continent. They probably would have traded here, but
Yeah. So they originated in Casmortis, and that's where a lot of their business proliferated and thrived, really. For the most part, a little bit of trade would have been done with Wyladium because they don't have as much access to Slaint, for example. They use most of their stores up. So there would be some simple parts, and a lot of the complex Arcanoids would have been almost shipped over or like imported.
Yeah.
But it is pretty rare to see Arcanoids like this here that are so complicated.
Well, A9, if it's any robot, if it's any assistance to your memory, we found you in a tent and you were merely an oddity that they had discovered and were experimenting on. In the Grimoisian Legion or
Yes, you were.
other people?
Yeah, you were. Do you know what the? Probably don't. Do you know what the? No, probably not.
And we've come across other less complex Arcanoids. I think we came across
There was some farming. There was a
apple
there was
ones.
Yeah, there was some.
Yeah.
There were some farmer Arcanoids, or just simple machines in Downs.
If we take it to be true that you've been asleep for
400 years.
400 years, your company may have expanded, but we've no greater insight to give you on what you were really up to. Sorry.
I know my sister. She's taught me that TU arms were from the Triad, and they were the first. Like they were the company to first bring Arcanoids properly to Wyladium back in the Procession of Metal. So obviously, but that was 400 years ago. So they've obviously expanded since you remember.
how old? How long does it look like his head's been hanging here, and as well the bits in the bag? Do they look? The bits that have been scratched or torn, are the surfaces tarnished over? Does it look like they've been there for, decades or centuries, or do they look like?
I would say Arkanoid, like the metal that they use for Arkanoids, is usually enchanted to last quite a while before any wear happens to it. That is while the enchantment is still functioning, so it can be a little bit hard to tell. I'd say probably be decades, but closer to the end of like a century.
I mean, it doesn't make any. This stuff's not that old. I mean, 100 years max. But Turbot, he can't still be around. He's just a human. They don't live that long, right?
No.
Depends.
Unless magic.
He's not a magical guy. He's
The only thing I know about Turbot Umbral is that he brought Arkanoids to Wyladium and that he was known for upgrading and tinkering with them.
oh, that's one word for it.
Do you think his son or daughter or generations down would be the same?
I did mention to A9 that maybe not that they would know, but maybe my family have connections if you wanted to learn more about the TU arms.
I don't think Turbot had any kids, did he? I mean, actually no, I probably would know. I definitely would know the answer to this.
You would know the answer, or you? So, none that you know of.
Yeah, I mean, the guy didn't have any kids,
Yet.
I suppose. He wasn't.
Was he an old man when you were around, or was he like a young man?
What, 40 years?
Hang on, guys. Abelard?
Whilst this is going on, can I do a perception check to see if the whistle's back?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's because you
Of
get
course.
to like how to
Yeah,
make
sure.
your voice around.
Of course you can.
Give myself a
Give it a shot.
guidance. If you fuck me over, Dykes. A secret.
Jesus
Christ,
Christ, Lucky.
That is
Fuck off!
disgraceful.
Come back.
You deserve this.
Yeah, that's
There is a puddle of saliva in
13.
your notebook.
And all over the keyboard.
It happens normally.
And probably a
none
little
of
bit
us
on
have
bar.
to use it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, it's a 13.
A 13. You don't hear anything. You can only hear the chatter of your friends, the party.
Cool.
Yeah, the 13. There's a faint breeze, but yeah, you don't catch anything else. A9 and had a horse. And
Why don't we
Booba?
set up camp for the night, yeah?
Are you okay? Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna put the head in the bag of holding.
Sure. You guys are setting up camp?
Abelard, do you have a thought on this? On setting up camp?
I think we need to camp somewhere, but I'm still concerned about the whistling.
Watches. Definitely take watches tonight.
I would suggest maybe even watches of 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Who is taking first watch?
I'll take watch with Kruger.
Sure.
I'll take first watch.
I will take second.
I'll also take watch at some stage.
Okay. So Dilbert and Kruger first, Abelard and A9 then, or
That sounds good.
I think I'd probably want to be on first watch. I probably wouldn't want to be falling asleep because I'm still a little bit shaken.
I can take second or third then if you want to really go first.
I'll take Kruger and Abelard then, I guess.
I can take.
Sorry, Dilbert.
so Dilbert and A9.
You can,
Yeah.
you can take third.
Yeah, I can take it.
And if anyone else going to take third?
I'll take third, but also before the night begins, I would like to cast alarm
Sure.
in a circle around us.
Beautifully done.
Are you guys setting up tents or anything, or you're just
I have a tent. I set up my tent.
sure?
So
Yes, if
what?
you-
First watch me and Abelard. No, me and A9.
Yeah. So I'll get one person to roll a perception check for me.
Help it.
You can
help.
do it with advantage.
Do you want me to roll?
Isn't it these two
I
first?
think
These two first.
yeah.
And
Go for
You
it,
do.
Dilbert.
Perception.
then.
I'll roll perception.
I'll say before I kind of cock it.
Just keep it out for a while. That'll be a 16.
A 16. With a 16, you sit for a little bit, Dilbert, an A9. And you're looking up at the canopy, watching, waiting. You're looking around out into the forest to see if you can catch anything in particular, if there are any threats that are heading your way. Everything is quiet for quite a while. And you can hear a bit of rustling and movement in the distance.
I have dark vision. Does that help at all?
Yeah, it will. So it's 60 feet for dark vision.
Mhm.
You can see something that is kind of a small shape that is zigzagging in and out of some bushes. And in between... Hello, horse. And in between trees.
I point out like, hey, robot guy, there's a thing in the bushes over there.
Can I see it? I don't have dark vision or anything.
You
Now that
probably
I've
can't
pointed
see
it out, is it?
You can see a shape moving, but that's it as of right now.
Can I pick up the are there any stones nearby?
And this is pretty frozen ground, so you'd have to dig around a little bit for a stone.
Could I make is there any ice?
Yeah.
Actually, could I make a snowball?
Mhm.
Tell me what you think of this, because this might not be okay. But I'd like to magically tinker a ball of snow to glow. I'm not sure if that's.
I've got dark vision.
Aren't you asleep?
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is the
this is-
first
Okay,
watch.
sorry,
We'll
I
watch
was
it.
like, yes.
You're sleeping with us.
What does magically tinkering say?
It says imbue a tiny non-magical object with a magical property of your choice. And then
I think you could.
I'll make a snowball and make it glow a 5-foot radius light.
It's like a compact fucking snowball. Sure.
Like a hydraulic press.
Like one of those bath bombs. Like,
Oh, you can do that? That's awesome.
That hurt like a motherfucker.
yeah. Well, it's a
don't-
magically tinkered with object. I need
Yeah.
to make it work somehow.
That's smart. I
This
like
is
that.
the softball.
Underarm.
Yeah.
I have the rave stick.
Yeah. Too late now.
Yeah.
Magically lit up.
Well,
This is the rave.
I see A9 making the ball, and I'm like, and then I pull out the rave stick, and I'm just like, watch this, and then I turn it on and just like kind of go, woo woo woo.
What does A9 think of this technology?
So,
And then I turn it up swiftly up.
you very quickly light up the entire space, and you can hear some jolts from the party as they kind of wake up and for a split second see all of these colourful lights just kind of bouncing off
Can
the
I-
white canvas of the snow beneath you.
Does anything show up in that split second?
A ghost? No, I'm just kidding.
Can I just quickly...
There's a guy standing in the middle of the camp.
Yes.
Oh,
You
shit.
can see what appears to be a small, what is that? Like a...
I do have an actual cold
Surprise, bitch, but you thought you'd see the last of me. No, you can see what appears to be a rabbit of sorts. It appears to... It's a lightsaber now.
Oh no, it's a rabbit. Fuck. I didn't realize.
Monty Python, no.
Oh, dear, yo.
Excellent reference.
Very good reference.
And that's, you gather what the shape was. It like looks startled for a second, and kind of dum,
I just turn off the robe light and go, sorry everyone.
I quickly get up and I'm like,
I was bright.
sure.
Now
I-
the whole bloody world knows.
I got this from a guy.
do you get it from Wolfric?
Yeah.
I'm just checking for my personal reference. From a guy. You wouldn't
Nice.
know him.
Nice ball, idiot. Sorry.
I'm gonna toss it as hard as I can into the distance.
At what?
Just into the distance.
At me.
Away from.
And you can hear what sounds like a kind of impact as it smacks against the bark of a tree.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I take it back.
What's the light effect? When it shatters against the tree, there's like shotgun light everywhere.
Yeah, I was
for a
about to
second.
say-
For a
yeah.
second, it's kind of like dazzling light, and then it dissipates.
That's cool.
Like kind of like a firework.
That's fun.
Well, see, that would have been a lot
Snowball
more.
fireworks.
I could
Covert.
with the lights
That's
rad. The snowball
It's a
fire.
lot more covert than my rave stick.
Is it?
As everyone's awake and like groaning and being like,
I mean, you're putting light on an object, right? For 20 feet of bright light.
I think
so-
the 5 feet. It doesn't specify if it's bright, but it just says 5 foot radius light.
Sure, I mean, it's still pretty bright in the
It would
otherwise
be
dark.
bright
shade.
light than 5 feet of the game.
how
That's
how
normally how light
long
works.
is the radius of the rave stick?
It's akin to a light
Okay,
cantrip,
so
so,
like
it's
20
pretty,
feet.
yeah, it's pretty bright.
But rainbow instead.
Yeah. The rave stick.
Mine's reusable.
Has anyone seen like that meme of like someone dressed as Gandalf at like a festival and he's got like the
Yeah.
the
Oh,
rave
yeah.
ones? That's what I imagine. It's
Do
like,
you have infinite uses of magical tinkering?
No, I think it's 4 per long rest.
Oh, true. That's pretty good though. Nice.
I've
More
already used all
snowballs
of
in
them.
the future.
Yeah.
I've been using them.
No, you use 2 for Parachev's sword and armor
True.
for cheese, and then just like then when the armor got hit, it said something else.
It's gonna. You're gonna
That
have a
would be
long rest
dumb,
and
yeah.
use it, and it's gonna. The cheese
Oh.
sound's gonna disappear from Parashev's sword.
It's not 4 per long rest. I can have 4 objects at
active
once.
at
So I assume now that the snowball has, I'm gonna.
So could you choose to dispel Parashev's weapons at any time?
Yeah, you could, because all it does is just make sounds.
That's
Can we get a
so
little,
That
a
would be-
little,
The
little
armor makes a smell. It
choose,
smells
choose,
like
choose interlude of
Yeah,
Parashev
yeah.
fighting with their sword, and it's like choose, choose, choose. You're like, I love this.
And then-
it's like, huh?
And it's gone. What
I
happened
have
to
to
my
use it for
fucking
something
sword?
more effective.
Parashev gets all like confused and then dies in battle because the cheese sounds dumb.
What happened to my fucking sword? It doesn't say cheese anymore.
Sorry.
It's okay. So the rest of your watch passes relatively quietly now that you've
Thanks.
lit up a rave, thrown a snowball into the distance, incredibly
Let
compact.
whoever's following us know exactly where we are.
That's assuming they didn't already.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they did. So.
So up next we have Abelard and Kruger.
Crew has got dark vision, doesn't he? But
I have 120 feet of dark vision. I see all, motherfucker. Well, not
John?
all, but better.
Yes, I help by trying to hear good. Because I don't. I'm not going to do the check because I just get a flat roll.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you. Why don't you? Because you can't really see in the dark that well, can you?
No.
You listen. I'll scan.
Okay. So
John?
then we both make a roll then, and do I make mine with disadvantage?
One
or
of
am I
you can
helping?
roll with advantage. That's okay.
If I roll with advantage, does that get cancelled out by disadvantage because I can't see?
So you're specifically listening though. You're not
Yeah.
seeing. So no.
I mean, I don't know. Well,
I'm gonna say no.
Do you want me to just roll?
Yeah,
Alright,
just
alright.
and then I'll
Cool
give
beans.
guidance as well, I guess.
Ah.
If I can.
Oh, is that loud?
That's fine.
Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for the evidence. 16 plus 4 plus 1, 21. Very nice. Guidance helped a lot.
Oh, so what was it? Sorry.
21.
21. Okay, sure.
I do see all.
You guys,
We're way more on edge.
having heard the whistling before, you guys are already pretty keyed up. And you're listening for any slight movement. You can hear the as the wind kind of picks up a little bit.
I kind of put some paint like in my like over my eyes, sort of like eyeshadow, and then I kind of like get like really crusty like stone, and so like make my dark vision just like a bit more like alright,
John.
just for fun flavor.
Yeah, no worries. You peer out into the darkness, and after a little while, you can hear
Do Do we know from where, or just over the wind?
With a 21, it seems sourceless, but it does seem further away.
Just put my sword, like, I'll be resting on it like that, like,
This is concerning.
This motherfucker's fucking with us, man.
I guess we just want the next watch that they need to be on like.
Alert? Yeah.
But whilst we are awake, can I do like a bit of combo with Kruger, or like...
Absolutely, go for it.
Kruger, I want your advice.
Yes?
So, I feel that not all of my beliefs are appreciated on this plane.
It's just, it's very different, and we're not used to it because that's just not the norm here.
what is normal, like, I gather if we went to your plane, for example, something that we did could be construed as something, you know, not right or weird, foreign to, you know, your kind.
It's just, but generally, when you see a dead body that you don't know, it's best to leave it alone in case you touch it and something bad happens.
Well, it's kind of, at least back where I'm from, it's kind of my job to touch dead bodies.
And I mean, I don't know how much the others get that, but I mean, you've explained it well enough, and I get it. But
is cremation more appropriate in this plane?
It depends. It depends on on what faith you believe in, your traditions of clans and family names. But
I thought burial seemed appropriate because a flame would be like a flare, so it's dimmer but still
No.
respect the body. But
I think if the body's been there for some time, it's best to just leave it.
okay, I can try. I guess
I know. I think the only exception would be if it was one of us.
I
But
feel
that's not gonna
like
happen.
when I try, I try my best, but it's hard.
No.
this
I mean,
place
well,
is very
to be fair, you've only been on Whiteladium for like a month and a half, 2 months tops. It's all still, I imagine it's all still sort of overwhelming at sometimes.
I don't know where I am half the time, to be honest.
I mean, that's fair enough. You are literally on a different world.
I will grant, like, for us like this, we don't have them. The trees we have are in the city and like out on the plains. Like maybe there might be like one, but it's not this. Like,
Not crazy forests in the middle of the tallest mountains on the continent.
we don't really have that many mountains, to be honest.
That sounds nice right about now. I'd be huddling one of those thermal cubes. Just like, that would be really nice right about now.
But yeah, I don't know how far, like, I don't want to force my beliefs on people, but also, some of the things, like leaving a body unattended feels wrong.
Maybe just offer, I mean, you did that blessing at the end. Didn't you? Maybe that would be good enough. You're not touching the body, you're still, practicing your rites as a holy person.
I still don't, I'm just concerned I don't want bodies left desecrated either. But I guess I can just do that. Thank you.
I don't know, man. I'm not a holy person myself, but, I think you just gotta try to respect the laws of, like, the land that you're in, because those are the rules somewhat set in place because they work. And vice versa, and, saying that we should respect your rules and the way that, like, things are done whenever we go to your home.
Out of curiosity, who does deal with all of the bodies that are left abandoned? Does anyone? Do they just sit there for eternity?
In places like this?
Well,
There'd be like clerics that perform funeral rites.
typically clerics or holy figures would perform burial rites usually.
But like it would not. But it wouldn't.
But for
This situation, probably you just not.
for certain areas, especially ones that are in harsher climates and things like that, for the most part, they would be left because no one would come to collect them.
Because normally people don't come
There
out
are
here.
some. Roll a religion check for me.
Meh. Religion. Nah, 8.
With an 8, you don't remember which religion specifically, but there are some religions that say that bodies should be returned to what they were created from. So a lot of them think that from the earth, or from Cthulhu back to Cthulhu. And a lot of these bodies will just decompose and their bones will be left for the ecosystem to do with what it will. Those are typically more druidic figures, and they're often people who worship bars or who worship Canis as well, or who worship some of the more nature-based entities.
So they don't like bury them or anything, they just leave them.
Yeah, they'll usually put them in like a copse with trees, and sometimes there will be vines wrapped around them, almost like a cocoon of sorts.
So there's still a
And it's
funeral, right, but
believed,
it's not
yeah,
just-
it's not burial specifically. It's an encasement essentially, and it's believed that they will just return back to the earth for nature to do what it will with them. But all entities, all beings and creatures that die are passed through to their afterlife by Rothor, who is the goddess of death, the underworld, protection, darkness. And she is thought to be like a psychopomp, essentially, and will ferry the spirits to wherever they need to go. So essentially, death is viewed as, like, the different funerary rites are sort of to help her allocate where a spirit goes, as well as to kind of honour her process of taking a spirit to her domain.
Okay. I would explain that, but also, so, you know, it depends, but also, I guess it also depends on the situation as well. Like, we're in the middle of we're in the middle of like a forest in a mountainous range, on the hunt, being hunted by dangers unknown. It's better to keep going with minimal distractions and sidetracks, because, well, what if you were looking at that body and it turned into a zombie and it decided to bite your neck? Now that wouldn't be ideal.
I mean, I am technically trying to do that, but I get the point. I don't know what they are, so I should leave. I am lost now.
If it's been there for a long time, I'm sure it'll just the soul has already passed on, and the body will naturally, the bones will just be naturally.
What if it hasn't? I know souls linger on this plane and on the material plane. What happens if the way that we release the soul is through the proper rites? Should I just learn the proper rites for a region? I'm good at. For that one, maybe burial wasn't appropriate. Maybe wrapping in vines could have been better. But
Kruger's brain's just like, I really should have paid attention to more of my studies. It's like, I don't know. I would just go on instinct and be like, oh, dead thing. It's like seeing a dead animal on the side of the road. It's just like, oh, that's not good. Ignore that, because there could be disease or infection or something, and you don't want to touch it. You know what I mean?
I'm so scared. Just like, once again, it's kind of my job to deal with disease and infection.
I know.
So far, you have highlighted that.
I'm not really doing a good job of this, am I?
In certain circumstances, I should leave them when we are in danger, but if I have the time, I should still practice funerary rites, because it seems hygienic.
That's a fair compromise, I would say.
Hygienic and probably good for the soul.
You really are really qualified for this, aren't you? Goddamn.
Yeah, I was very good at it at school. What was the name of the death god again?
Rothor.
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 Yeah, I'd be like, well, if you want to know more about material plane funeral rites, yeah, the goddess of death would be worth a study.
I might see if there are there temples of Rothor, like a priest of Rothor in most towns, like as like a funerary practitioner, or is it like major city confined?
It's mostly major cities. A lot of the smaller towns would have a practicing cleric, or like kind of like a mortician, I suppose, but they're often specifically for a religion, and they just pay respects to Rothor.
Okay.
Like Rothor is a very well respected goddess. Despite the fact that you might think death is like a really awful thing. Obviously, people do think death is an awful thing, but it's thought that if you are kind to Rothor and you pay your respects, then Rothor will make sure that you are given a good afterlife, essentially.
Yeah.
Or that your soul, your spirit is taken care of when you go through.
I think
the
even
afterlife.
in like Literature and stuff, where you do understand like Rothor and stuff.
Yeah, you would have heard of Rothor.
Yeah, even though we're not on there, I imagine our spirits still go to an afterlife.
Yes, yeah. Rothor is interesting because she also rules over Malaya with Koth, so technically the underworld as well. But she is, I think, almost better respected than Koth in some respects.
But yeah, just out of character, I was just going to talk to clerics in the nearby towns about funerary rites.
Sure.
Just
Alright. Anything else?
Well, I'm not faithful at all. I mean, I know the gods, basics, but I don't know.
I mean, thank you. If the conversation has been illuminating, I probably should talk to more clerics on this plane about proper practices for the future.
You know what would have been handy if we could talk. I don't know. Can people talk to? Can people talk to the dead? That'd be cool. Maybe like, hey, how'd you die?
In theory, I know how to, but
You can talk to dead people.
I know how to do it. I also know how to resurrect them and turn them into zombies. Like, I know how to, it's just more of a, I don't feel comfortable doing it. I believe that once you have passed your the problems of the material should not be yours anymore.
That's fair.
It
The zombie thing, yeah.
It comes more from it's kind of a soldier's thing is if you die serving, you should not be brought back to serve more. You have done your duty and you have earned your rest. So in theory, I can do it, but I don't. It's more of a comfort thing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully when I die, it's hopefully at a ripe old age after years of adventuring and being awesome.
I mean,
Or, that I'm deemed worthy enough and the Omen Killer doesect decide to, bisect me.
random question. As a DM, are you one who gives a player a choice whether or not they return from the dead? Because I know some, because Revivify and stuff.
Yes.
So, Alab will know Revivify and the Resurrection spells gives them a choice to come back.
Yes, so Revivify is a little bit different because it has a shorter
Yeah, it's a minute.
time. Yeah, it has a shorter time frame. So for that, I'd say there's not much of a choice. But for Resurrection, because that's a longer period of time, and you can also resurrect people who have been dead longer, then I would say you do get a definite choice with that one. But Revivify is...
A defib.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah, I think it was a bit clapped at the time, but I think when the major deaths between undeath and resurrection magic is you don't get a choice in undeath, but you get the choice in resurrection.
Well, if I die, help me out. Please.
I'm currently planning on keeping you guys standing. I can, hopefully not more than one of you dies. I only have enough components for one person. And it's very short period, so try keep me nearby.
Gotcha.
Well, you do that, and I'll do my best to look after all of you as well. I'll do it anyway, but hopefully that's considered a worthy thing. It's hard to know what defines worth with, a demigod.
I think.
I contemplate this a lot. It's just like shit.
I think everyone does. I think that you define what your worth is. No one else.
Kruger just like stares off into the living. It's just like whoa.
And then
Damn.
I guess is the whistling still there?
So this happened after the whistling?
Well, yeah, like we had the whistling, a little bit of combat. Whistling still present in the air.
No, actually. So you heard it maybe like twice throughout that conversation, but it hasn't come back. And it seemed a little bit more distant.
Maybe, okay. I'm gonna go to bed now.
I guess we'll kind of watch, and I'll give them like a heads up of like keep your ears out for like whistling.
Sure. Well, I will say actually that our last 2 watches we will save for next time. Because I think that's a pretty good place for us to end.
Why did the time have to fly so fast? That's not
After
fair.
a bit of a heart-to-heart with Abelard and Kruger.
Discussing dead people.
Yeah, discussing funerary rites practices.
Something
We've got a little bit of lore
Something
there
that
as
Kruger
well.
literally knows nothing about. It's just like
Yeah. Pretty mixed session, I think. Did you
Yeah.
guys have fun?
Yes, that was very
A lot
good.
of
Interesting things happen.
new things with
You.
A9.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
highlight of
I
the
need
session,
some-
I reckon.
Yeah.
Information.
And also just the ominous
Crazy
whistling
stuff.
is something to now worry about.
Lovely. I love to make people worry about
I'm very worried.
Alright, well, just a reminder before we head off. First of all, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you had just as much fun as we did at the table tonight. Oh, there's a kitty cat. Look at little baby. Hello? Little baby. Look at the kitty. Please enjoy, please love kitty.
Please love Kitty. I love
Love
Kitty.
Please
I love cats so much.
We love the catty.
Be careful.
We-
We also get jealous.
We
Well,
love catty.
I
Catty
love
good.
both horse and kitty cat.
Catty is good. And we
Um,
love catty.
The horses picked up over the couch with the cat coming out. Her head was like, let's get
No. Anyway,
Ignoring me.
thank you guys so much again for joining us. Just a reminder that next week, unfortunately, the bulk of us won't be here because we're off to listen to the orchestra.
Classy.
But please do tune in for Connor running his first one-shot
Oh, so exciting.
for
the
the
channel.
channel.
So
Yeah.
exciting.
Prepare to be scared.
Quite an accomplished DM otherwise, but I'm very sad that I'm going to be missing out because I've never seen.
Hey, hopefully more in the future though.
But yeah.
Con.
If it's brought by if it's brought back by popular demand, yes,
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to do
Yeah.
more one shots and stuff.
If you'd like to see some of those other one-shots that we've done, or Lockie's campaign, or Xander's campaign, or the rest of the Cathoro campaign, please do check out the link down below to our YouTube channel where we have all of our archived videos over there for all of those. Once again, it is always a pleasure and never a chore to DM for you all. Much love to you, and we will see you in a little bit. Goodbye for now.
Peace.